Welcome to Two Guys, Three Crowns, the podcast that talks about what it's really like to live in Stockholm, Sweden. I'm Sean, and with my fellow American Rodney, we break down the good, the bad, and the just plain weird. It's quite the journey, so join us for the ride.
Doe.
A deer, a female deer.
Ray.
A drop of golden sun.
Fa.
A long, long way to run. We missed one in the middle, but it's okay.
Wait, do, re, mi. Me. Did you miss me? No.
You missed me, but now I'm back, baby.
Yes. Yes, you are.
That little inspired tune
Yeah.
is in honor of the recent trip out to the hills are alive with the sound of music. The foothills of Sweden.
How?
Or not Sweden, Switzerland. The comments, here they come.
Yeah, you sounded like everybody else. Sweden, Switzerland. I mean, hey, you know?
That SW comes out of my mouth, and that's it. It's all over.
Yeah. So, do tell. I mean, you gotta fill me in. I tried to go in and I actually did I Googled Switzerland.
That's what you do. You know?
Yeah, I Googled Switzerland. I'm like, I better check and see where Sean's at. And one of the first things that pops up is it says that Switzerland is actually the most expensive place in the world to visit. Yeah. That was one of the things. Sounds like something their tourist board might need to work on a little bit. But.
Tell me about it. Well, I think this past year, Hong Kong was probably one of the most expensive, or I don't know. It was some area that it's kind of fluky that it went into it was maybe somewhere in Kazakhstan or something. It was some weird city that was the most expensive for expats. However, perennially in the top 5 or top 10, there's Zurich, Geneva, Basel, Bern. All Swiss cities. Swiss cities.
Okay.
We're talking like, you look on Uber Eats and you're going to spend 30 francs, Swiss francs, because it's not the euro.
Okay.
Per person for like a dinner size portion of something. 30 or more.
What is that like in crowns then?
We're talking like an entree chicken Caesar salad at that rate. Is right.
But see, I'm thinking that you might, like, people should it would be good to visit just to kind of reset your financial compass so that when you come back to Sweden, it's like, oh, wow, this stuff is
not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Exactly. Oh, but man, it's so beautiful there. Like with all the architecture is like, everything looks like a cuckoo clock, you know?
Right.
And like the nature in summertime, most people think of Switzerland as a wintertime place. You go out there, you get the chalet in the mountains, you go skiing all day, you know, all that. But the summer, man, it is beautiful.
Yeah.
Like just green everywhere you look. It's wild. Like this piece of green felt got laid over a bunch of rocks. It's like that. And these big giant undulating hills, and like the scale of the mountains is so bizarre. Like we went up to the top of one of them and took like a train kind of thing up to the top. It was crazy.
Now, I know that like pictures that pop up on social media when it has views of Swiss views,
yes.
it almost looks like people have like bumped the saturation in those those pictures.
It looked like that in real life. Let me tell you, it was weird.
Yeah, I mean, like from what you're describing, it sounds like, nah, man, that's the way it is.
Like the grass looks like, until you get up close to it, and then you can see there are some weird blades and weeds in there, but it's all the same color. It looks like from 100 yards away, it looks like this just continuous golf course going up a mountainside. It's wild. And then where there's trees, it's the trees, and then there will be like this open patch where it's just pure green grass. It's wild.
So the grass is actually greener.
The grass is indeed
greener on the other side. Okay, it's just slightly more expensive.
Yeah, but man, I was like, we were trying to look up, right? What do they eat in Switzerland? There's got to be something besides cheese and chocolate.
Right.
Not so much.
No, that's pretty much it.
I got to go running up and down these mountains every day to eat all that cheese.
Yeah.
But I will say, great pretzels, great bratwurst.
Ooh.
Oh. Because we were along the German border the whole time. So
right.
It was beer country and pretzel country.
Mm.
So we stopped in Zurich for a couple days at the beginning, and then we went out to this. We got an Airbnb. It was like 30 minutes north of the airport, the Zurich airport, in this little tiny town called Riiiiicoooolllllaaaaaa.
Mm.
And it's right on the Rhine River. I think it was like 900 people live in this little town.
Okay.
And right down the road, there's this town called Bad Zurzach. And it's called Bad Zurzach because they have a spa.
Okay.
A natural thermal spa. So they've got this whole, different pools at different temperatures and steam rooms and plunge pools. And then you go in the basement. This thing was life-changing.
Okay.
They've built this cavern of they call it intense salt bath. So it's got so much salt in it, it's like the Dead Sea.
You float.
You just float
above the water.
Yeah, you're completely weightless.
Yeah.
And they've got speakers inside the pool. I think they were inside the pool. Huh. So it was this meditative, and then there's colored lights and all that stuff. I was like, me and Hinata, we didn't want to leave. We left Dylan with the grandparents for a while. We're like, no, we'll just chill here for 30 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
That was amazing. Forget the fondue. That was the highlight of the trip right there.
Hey, what was up with the picture? You sent the picture of you were at the Lindt?
Oh, yeah. Did that.
Holy.
So the day we moved from the hotel in Zurich to the Airbnb, that was actually my birthday. So we took advantage of being on the road.
Right.
We went down to, they just redid their Lindt Factory museum kind of thing. So it's kind of like if anyone out there has ever been to Hershey,
mm-hmm.
You do a similar thing where you go learn about how the chocolate grows and how it's harvested and roasted and all that stuff. But Hershey, it's like an amusement park ride kind of thing. And then at the end, you get dumped out. You get a little piece of chocolate,
right?
Like a fun-sized chocolate, and you get dumped out in the gift store. This one, there were towers of liquid chocolate that you could try. Your individually wrapped plastic spoon, and then open this valve, and it would just pour pure white chocolate, milk chocolate, or dark chocolate on your spoon, and then, yep, that's chocolate. Move on to the next one.
Holy smokes!
And then there was this it got to this section where they were talking about the different flavors that they pair with chocolate, like orange rind and ginger and mint and all that stuff. And there were, again, all these big tubes coming down from the ceiling, and you put your hand underneath of them, and it it's automatic soap dispenser. It would dispense with a piece of chocolate. Now that's some Willy Wonka stuff.
Now wait a minute, because while we're busy over here doing the little COVID alcohol spray thing, you're over there doing the same thing with chocolate.
Well, it's Switzerland. Of course, it spits out chocolate.
Yeah.
Right. And then you go into another room, and then you can take all the little truffles and all that kind of thing for free.
Wow.
I mean, it's a paid tour that you go through the whole thing and all that.
Right.
But, man, Dylan, woo, bomba.
Oh yeah.
I think we did half the tour, and then we were like, okay, we got to get this kid out of here. His whole face was just chocolate everywhere, everywhere. And then Hinata and her parents went into the gift store to grab some little things, and I was outside with Dylan, and that's when it hit. He went from just I'm bored, I want to eat more chocolate, to then it was I'm bored, I want to eat more chocolate. There's a chocolate fountain. Oh, there's a sofa. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And then 20 minutes later.
Yeah. Hey, do you think that the tour people know that? In advance, when they see people coming with little kids, they're like, oh, yeah, this is going to be good.
Well, let me tell you, when you go in there with a little kid, you kind of have an idea yourself.
Right. It's like going. I'm pretty sure it's Vegas. Vegas has the Coca-Cola. You can go on the Coca-Cola tour.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
That's got to be another good one for the kids. Woof. But I did see, Sean, when I did the Google search, first it said that Switzerland is the most expensive place in the world to visit. The second thing was like a top list of things that Switzerland's known for. And number one was cows.
Cows?
Yeah. Because I was thinking.
That's not even in my top 5.
No, I mean, well, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe it's banks, but no. But
close.
Right.
Close.
But chocolate and cheese, right?
Yeah.
And those are because of the cows, the Swiss cows, that are only out eating this fantastic natural grass, which somehow impacts, the quality of the chocolate and the cheese and, everything else. But yeah, it was kind of funky. I wasn't expecting cows to.
My Swiss top 5 has got to be like skiing, chocolate, cheese, probably throw in their watches,
right,
and then Riiiicoooolllllaaaaaa.
Yeah. Well, what about is it the Zermatt? No, the Matterhorn, and the.
Oh yeah, the big horn that they blow.
Actually,
the yodel.
The mountain stuff is the
the two. That, with the funny hats, it all goes together. That's definitely one of the top 5.
Exactly.
Way ahead of cows.
Exactly. The one that's in the Ricola commercial.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
what's been going on back here? What have I missed?
Well, things are kind of getting back to workish. You can feel the amount of people, and I don't know, they've been having some strange delays and stuff on the on the trains. But my train ride, the train I caught home today, actually I only caught it halfway home. I got picked up. Lena picked me up, but the train that I took out of Tia Centralen was packed full of people. Really? I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it that packed full of people, in a long time. So
no more trains entirely to yourself.
No. And maybe I was just happened to be on the wrong train. It was a little bit earlier than I normally leave, but yeah, it was jam packed full of people. So So I don't know, maybe, but then again, Sweden with vacation times, it might be people that are just back in the office to check their mail. And then now they're going back on vacation again. That's kind of the way it felt. There were a lot of casual clothes.
They got to get it in now before we go into that weird stretch of 2 months where there's no holidays.
Right. Exactly.
Get it in. Use it up now. Quick.
Yeah. But it's been a busy week. Last week was Stockholm Pride. So Stockholm Pride all last week. It was also the last week of the Olympics that wrapped up yesterday.
USA.
Yeah. And yesterday was Queen Sylvia's namnsdag.
The name's day.
Yes, it was her name's day. It was Sylvia. So the Queen's name's day yesterday. But yeah, it seems like a lot of stuff kind of wrapped up this past week.
Well, I saw you had a lovely fika out about town.
Oh, yes, I did. One that's been on pause since May of last year. Like May of last year, so.
And that was with Florence.
Yes.
You met up with.
Yes.
Now I saw the picture. You were outside of Vettakatten.
Yes.
So that was the venue. What'd you get? What was your fika go to?
Actually, you know what? Florence was on her way to a lunch after our meeting. So we basically did the coffee thing. Wait, let me change that. I actually had a massarin.
A massarin? What is that?
Yeah, a massarin is it looks like a little aluminum boat, and it has. What? Yeah, and it has a almond filling and it's like a pastry. It's like a little mini pie-ish, oval pie. I'll have to. I'll
so
send
like a
you.
Danish.
Yeah. Well, yeah, except for it's in this aluminum foil pie thing. But I'll send it to you. But
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, but I was going to order coffee, but I felt so bad, because there's all these pastries. And I was like,
well, they look so lonely. I got to get at least one of them.
Well, and the three girls at the cash register, they were looking at me, and I was like, "Oh, I'll have a cup of coffee," and they were looking at me, kind of, and I was like, "And I'll take 2 napkins." And
yeah, but that place is amazing, though. I've been in one of their locations before and had some of their pastry, and it's just chef's kiss.
Yeah. No, it was really nice, and it was fantastic to. It felt really good to finally meet Florence in person.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, while we were in Switzerland watching all of your updates from afar, I think we had 2 days of sunny weather. One being my birthday, because it never rains on me on my birthday, except once. And that was a tropical storm.
Okay, so you went
we
big.
had one other day, and the rest was rainy. It was rainy and chilly and all that. And like, we've gotten Sweden summer down here. What's going on?
Right.
But you guys must, if it was down here, you guys must have been high and dry back here in Sweden.
Well, it's been kind of, I don't know. The weather's been definitely getting damp, and it's a little chilly. It's those mornings where you actually question your shorts for a couple seconds. Where it's yeah, I know. So, no, but it's been, the weather is kind of tending in that direction. You know that next week we're headed up to go hiking.
Ooh.
So we have 1 week left that we're going to be going up, and it is 3 days of hiking up in Jämtland. So up in and Lena's been keeping an eye on the weather report. And
as you do as a Swede.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little iffy.
Well, it's a good thing you have all of your Gucci hiking gear, right?
Right. The Gucci hiking gear. What we actually, the reason that they picked us up on the way home, we went to go take a look at kind of what rain clothing options there are. Because we're gonna be out hiking for like 7 hours a day.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude,
so
when you get back, you're not gonna leave that couch of yours for like a week.
I'm not so worried about getting home and not leaving the couch. I'm more worried about like the second day. Where the first day you make it, and then,
or even the third day, because normally it's the day after, and then you're going to have compound interest because you're going to have that second day on top of it. You're a madman.
Well, what I thought about is I got one of those GoPro. Of course I did. I got one of those GoPro mounts so that Adrian and I can take turns with carrying the GoPro camera. But I'm thinking
so heavy,
But I'm thinking about muting the sound on it, just because I don't want it I don't want people to hear me whining and like.
Well, let me tell you the trick. You don't include the audio. You just mute the whole video when you upload it.
Maybe I can put the Sound of Music soundtrack in the background.
There you go. Or do your the Chariots of Fire.
Yes. That's a good go-to form. But we're looking forward to the trip. We ordered some freeze-dried food that we're going to be...
Wow, you're doing the hardcore.
Kind of. We're going to be cheating a little bit because we're going to be staying at places along the way. So we're not going to be total, we're not going to be roughing it completely like tents and stuff.
Yeah, but still, freeze-dried food. Next thing you'll have like combat boots and MREs and be like, let's go.
Hey, pretty close. We got Adrian with us. So we got we got combat boots coming.
He probably has that big machine gun with him. Well, in case we need firewood.
Mosquitoes.
Oh, mosquitoes. For sure. Hey, you're going to have to worry about ticks out there.
Yeah, but we got this super duper mosquito roll-on. It's like some new thing that's supposed to be like the super stuff.
I never believed those mosquito repellents. Clearly, you haven't tested this on me.
No.
It ain't gonna work.
No. Veronica asked me today when she saw it, because how they basically bottle that stuff up in a deodorant. It's the same. Yeah. It looks like the same thing. And
for sure.
She was looking at it going, okay, how does this work? And it was like, well, it's just like rolling it. I was like, it's not in case anything crawls up into your armpit. I said, you can actually use that. You can actually use that all over.
This isn't to be used in replacement of deodorant either.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that thing smells.
Man, I mean, after this trip, you're going to have to buy a Subaru, and you're going to be one of those people.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I like the outdoors and I appreciate the outdoors, and I'm really looking forward to this. But hiking, what we've discovered is hiking sounds simple enough, right? You're outdoors and you're basically walking, either from point A to point B.
But there's some serious kid out there.
Oh my goodness.
And then there's hiking, and then there's trekking. Trekking is more like walking.
Yeah, because, clothing to go ahead.
Clothing is required generally.
Oh my goodness. But the price of shoes and like pants and socks and everything. And I told Lena today, I was like, look, people have been on the earth for a couple thousand years, right? And they've been walking great distances without, the merino wool stuff. And I'm sure.
Yeah, but you don't have Jesus feet. Let me tell you. No. You got soft feet.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
You want some arch support. You want that merino wool sock, that lining inside it. Yeah, you want the waterproof boot. You need that kind of stuff. Amenities,
Well, I think that we pretty much, we're in it to win it now. We can't have like made investments and all this stuff and like not go out again. We're not going to be the people that like, we went on one hike 3 days and then we pack it all up into a box. Now we need to find more stuff to adventure. Maybe I'll start walking to work. No.
Wait.
No.
It might not be a bad idea with the way that train runs.
I might get there faster.
Especially in the winter.
Yes.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes, absolutely. One thing that I mentioned that just wrapped up were the Olympic Games.
Yes.
Sweden did really well. They got 3 golds and 6 silver medals. But it was kind of, I remember the Olympics growing up as being one of those things where there was a lot of focus. When the Olympics were on, there was a huge amount of focus on it.
Yeah.
Sweden, I think it's Discovery Plus is what it was. Discovery Plus basically had the whole Olympics lineup.
Okay.
So you could go in and, you could basically log in and find whatever sport, whatever teams, whatever country. The times were
nice.
the times were a little funky, because it was in the middle of the night. But I don't know if having the Olympics on demand is kind of makes you like lazy or makes you, I don't know. There's just something about it going, well, I can always.
Well, I got to tell you, it's got to be better than my option of how we watched the Olympics.
Okay.
So, Renata's dad, that would be the rhythm. He'd get up, have his coffee, have his breakfast, put on the Olympics. Boom. Except we are in German-speaking Switzerland.
Oh.
And so all their media comes from Germany, and they only follow the German athletes.
Right.
And it's all in German. And I'm like, I know English is a Germanic language, but I don't speak German. I don't understand any of that stuff.
Yeah.
They sound like they're screaming at me half the time.
Right. Yeah.
I can't keep up with that. And then they would like, because there was one German woman in the marathon, they just like every single channel, Eurosport 1, Eurosport 2, like the ESPN, the SVT2 equivalent. They all had the exact same thing at the exact same point.
Right.
All broadcasting the same thing. I'm like, man, come on. Give us a little, variety.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he was going crazy, Renata's dad, because it was the gold medal game between Brazil and Spain.
Right.
And they showed it for like 30 seconds and then cut away to something happened with like the German athlete like went back 2 places in the race. He's like, ah!
Yeah.
So then next thing I know, he's got the iPhone out watching on YouTube. But it's like, on ESPN where like for like NFL games, they show like the ball moving up and down the field and it's been a turnover and all.
Yeah.
So it was like that kind of game cast.
Yeah.
Not the actual game, but like a game cast summary. And then a radio announcer over top of that.
Okay.
Because the rights are all controlled and they've like they're all over YouTube to shut down your channel if you broadcast it illegally. So it was, I've got this women's marathon on, them running through the streets of Tokyo,
Yeah.
following the highs and lows and lows and lows of a German runner. And then he's over here listening in Brazilian Portuguese to his basically handheld radio that's his iPhone.
Right.
I was like, how far we've come with technology.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was, yeah, it just kind of struck me because I remember how, I mean, we used to sit down and watch the Olympics. Then again, back in the States, I'm sure that every country, if they have to pick and choose, will go ahead and favor, events or athletes in that country. But no, I think that Sweden did really, really well.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody.
My mom was freaking out in one of the Swedish gold medals. The horse jumping.
Yeah.
Like they are putting, of course, there was some German involved early on, but then it was then it went to a jump off. And I'm getting WhatsApp messages from my mom going, "It's a jump off!" And I'm like, oh my God. Because when she was younger, she used to jump horses and all that.
Right.
So she was like, "It's Sweden, it's USA, it's a jump off." I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah. Lena had it on because she's been following the actual the horse team and some of the stuff they've had, not documentaries, but they've done a couple of segments on the news and interviews and stuff. So Lena was on it, and I looked over a couple times, and then I started kind of getting interested in her reactions from the couch. The next thing I knew, man, I was sitting on the couch next to her, and I was like, oh, and I'm reacting.
He just touched the pole. I saw it on the replay.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the German horse, or the jumper and the horse, or the horse guy and the rider and the horse, I think the horse just stopped. I think he went over.
That was the pentathlon.
Okay.
And the reason it did that is because the rider and the horse, they get matched up by random.
Okay.
It's not like jumpers. Like jumpers have their horse. They travel with their horse.
Okay.
It's like a symbiotic relationship. The horse and the rider know each other's muscle movements and twitches and all that stuff. But these people in the modern pentathlon, they have to do the pistol shooting and the running and all this stuff. And then one of it is show jumping for some reason.
Okay.
Or horse jumping. And then they get paired with a horse at random. I'm like, this seems like a recipe for disaster. And next thing you know, that guy goes flying right off the front. The horse is like, man, I don't like the way you kicked me that last time. You're out of here.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. I mean, the horse, once the horse decides that he doesn't really want to do it anymore, he's like, you know what? This Tokyo thing it's not really good for my mane. And I'm feeling.
That horse weighs a lot more than you do, my friend.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't just switch it out like a pole or something. But we'll see. It's moving to France. France is the next.
Right.
Is the next Olympics.
And then Los Angeles after that, I think I
That's
saw.
right. And when they did the handover, did you watch the closing?
We watched part of it.
Okay. Because they switched everything over to France.
Yeah.
So they were in Paris, and they showed this big, and they had mentioned it on the commentator said that it was like the biggest flag, and it was from the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, yeah?
And it was like this big, thing with the Olympic flag. And I was looking at it and I was going, there's something about that just doesn't look.
Uh-oh.
It just doesn't look.
It looks a bit CGI.
It looks a little CGI.
Uh-oh.
And then they swapped over to another picture. And then for a while they came back and it wasn't there anymore. So I might be slightly off, but,
Yeah, we saw the lady riding her bike on all the roofs, and I'm like, that looks like it's not going to end well. And then there were break dancers in front of the Eiffel Tower, and then all of a sudden, Macron said something into the camera, and everyone around him had like this weird, awkward pause for half a second.
Yeah.
And then everything was being explained in German. I'm like, I don't know. It's going to France. Who knows?
Hey, but breakdancing is going to be an event, right?
I figured that must be what's going on.
Yeah, breakdancing is going to be an event. I got 4 years to get my backspin back.
I'd stick to the hiking, my friend.
right, everyone, that is going to do it for this week's episode. But before we go, we need to give a very special shout out to the one, the only Jermaine Thomas, everybody. Shout out, loving the work going back into the studio, looking great, looking forward to some new projects, and hopefully some live dates for the Jam Nation Band again. And also a special shout out to TBR Burgers out there serving out those amazing cheeseburgers, smash burgers, all that good stuff. Don't know if you guys know this, but he just posted that one of his burgers was featured, highlighted by First We Feast, the same production company that puts on the amazing, incredibly viral sensation Hot Ones on YouTube. So definitely check out TBR Burgers. Be sure to check us out on Instagram, and when you're done with all that, come back here next time for more Two Guys, Three Crowns.